Somehow you became happy. You became happy because you ate something, you became happy because you met somebody, you became happy because something happened, this happened, that happened. Somehow, it is not that you do not know joy, it is not that you do not know peace, it is not that you do not know love or even ecstasy. The problem is of sustainability, you're not able to stay there, yes? You're not able to stay there because you're getting there by accident, somehow. Shall we do a simple experiment with you? Shall we? What you do is, keep all the 5 fingers together. Keep it facing down, gently placed upon your thigh. Don't press it, gently placed. Don't close your eyes right now, I will tell you what to do. We will do this eyes closed, but right now you must observe. With eyes closed, placing it like this, just inhale and exhale slightly deeper than normal, mildly exaggerated breath. As you're doing this, I want you to observe how the air is filling up into your lungs, or in other words, where is the maximum expansion and contraction. There will be some change. You hold it like this, and as you're doing this breath, without breaking the rhythm of your breathing, when I say switch, just turn it over. Again, when I say switch, get back. In these 2 positions, something about your breath will change. I want you to notice what is the change. If you have to notice this, what is needed is, one thing is, your spine should be erect, eyes should be closed, you must be focused on the breath, and your breakfast should not be up to your throat. Please close your eyes, breathe slightly deeper than normal. See where is the maximum expansion and contraction in your body. Switch, turn your hands over. Switch again. Please open your eyes. You notice some difference between these 2? Can somebody say what? This way? This way what? Okay. So what's happening is, for those of you who did not notice, just take one breath, you will know. When your hands are facing down, you will see the maximum expansion and contraction is happening in the lower lobe of the lung. So you will notice it largely in the diaphragm region. If you turn it around, it moves to the middle lobe of the lung, so you will notice it higher up in the chest. Just take one breath and see. Noticeable? So just turning your hand over, just the way you breathe is altering itself. Not just the breath, the very way your life energies function is altering itself simply because you turn your hand over. How many times in a day do you do this unconsciously? Whatever anybody asks. You will see in India, whenever they speak, at least in English language, when they say no, it is never a single no. No, 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 no. You have never heard anybody saying yes, 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 yes. Have you heard that? No. No, 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 no. Now you're getting your energies into turmoil and hoping to be peaceful. Life does not work like that. Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. It's as simple as that. I'm sure all of you are successful enough to understand, at least in your business, you know unless you do the right things will not happen to you, isn't it? There is another level of people who believe they can do idiotic things and tell a prayer and everything will be okay. I'm sure you evolved out of that. You understand with your business, unless you do right things will not happen. I'm saying the business of your peacefulness, joyfulness, whatever, Even here it is true, unless you do the right things will not happen. Even in this, as it is true in the objective world, it is true in the subjective world, unless you do the right things will not happen to you. On a certain day, a man fell into the septic tank. I want you to visualize yourself, right up till here in filth, desperately tried to come out, could not. Those who visualize are and could not come out. After some time, he started shouting, "Fire, fire!" Neighbors heard the fire call and they called the firemen. Firemen came rushing, they looked all over the place, no fire. Then at last they found this man. They pulled him out and they asked, "Why were you screaming fire? Where is the fire?" The man retorted, "If I said shit, shit, would you come?" Unless you do the right things will not happen to you. This is true with the outside, this is true with the inside. Accidentally, some good things may happen. Anything may happen. Now, right now what success means is, your life is moving a little faster pace than what it would be if you're not so successful, okay? Suppose you sat in a car, you don't know how to drive, and just by chance you did that and it started moving. Anxiety? Yes or no? You don't know what driving means, the car started moving, anxiety or no? As it picks up fear, as it picks up speed, fear, it picked up enormous speed, terror, that's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. So people go on philosophizing, no, because I'm doing this, because I got money I'm disturbed, because I'm wealthy I'm disturbed, because I'm successful I'm stressful, because my job is like this I'm stressful. No, your job is not stressful, your family is not stressful, the world is not stressful, you just do not know how to manage your mind. It's as simple as that. One who cannot manage his own mind, when he tries to manage 1,000 people's minds around him, he'll go crazy. That's all that's happening. Management is driving people crazy because they do not know how to manage their own mind. Essentially, management means you're trying to manage 1,000 or 10,000 minds around you, which will naturally drive you crazy. Why should it not? It should. By the fundamental principle of life, it should drive you crazy, isn't it? And it is successfully. So, it is not a question of the content of your life. It is not a question of what's happening in your life. It is just that your mind, your body, your chemistry, your energies, nothing taking instructions from you right now. So because of this, simplest aspects of life have become ultimate goals, ultimate peace. There's no such thing. If you're peaceful here, you know what it means to be, otherwise you'll never know. You think in heaven you're going to be peaceful? If all your sort of people have gone, and every generation of people, can you imagine? Here you have to live with only one generation. In heaven, 1,000,000 generations, you think you can live with them? If all of them are piled up there, is that the place to go? It's a place to avoid. With one generation, with few people around you, if you cannot exist, try living alone and see, you'll go crazy. So the problem is not of life, it is just that you've been given a phenomenally sophisticated gadget, you have not paid attention as to what you could do with it, simply blundering through life, then all kinds of things are happening. This is a phenomenal gadget, not a simple one. It can do miraculous things. Right now, most human beings are using it in a very minimalistic way. About 3 years ago, the cell phone companies in India did a survey, and they came out with this result that 97% of the people are using only 7% of the cell phone's capabilities. Now, we are not talking about your smartphone, we are talking about the dumb phone. 97% of the people are using only 7% of the cell phone's capability. So if they take away 90% of the software, 97% of the people will not even notice it. 3% complaints you can always handle, isn't it? Maybe they took it away every time they gave you a discount, you don't know what they have done. Now, if this is the case with a simple gadget, what do you think is the percentage that you're employing in this phenomenal gadget? Don't guess, it's too low. It's too minimalistic. If a few people, maybe some of you old enough to have seen the first television in India, all right? Early 80s. You were sitting in your house, eyeballs popping, watching your one-channel wonder, and suddenly it went boop, boop, boop. Then you run up on the roof of your house, there's a bunch of aluminum tubes. Doesn't work, doesn't work. Then slowly if you get it into this place, suddenly the whole world again pours into your sitting room, isn't it? Just a bunch of aluminum tubes. If you just learn as much as to sit right, understand? Just hold yourself right, you can download the whole cosmos. Because we have not prepared this for that, we are trying to get bits and pieces of information from all over, reading this, reading that and confusing the hell out of ourselves. And all this knowledge is not bringing well-being for sure, isn't it? You will see this, uneducated faces, if they are well-fed, are far more joyful than educated faces. Have you noticed this, unfortunately? With knowledge, people should have become joyful. Yes? Yes or no? If we genuinely imbibed knowledge, big things should have happened within us, isn't it? Now, just information piled up. You will see in universities, faces are extra long. I was speaking to a group of people at the Princeton University in New Jersey. I just looked around, there were a little over 200 people, all grave, long faces. I don't know why in universities the faces are extra long, maybe it's a weight of knowledge, I don't know. I just saw about 3, 4 young faces were bright, rest are all. They're practicing how to go to the grave, how they should look on their funeral day. They're practicing it right now. Then I looked around and said, what's the matter? Why are all these people over 30 years of age are carrying long faces like this? Then one lady stood up and said, they're all married. I thought people are getting married to multiply their joy. If they're getting married to multiply their misery, there has to be a law about this. Because every human being is aspiring, either consciously or unconsciously, to be joyful, isn't it? If 2 people are sitting in a house and conspiring to spread misery in the world, there must be a law against it. This is like terrorism, you know. People are sitting in homes and spreading misery within themselves, around themselves. They're good-intentioned people. I want you to understand, even those people who set up bombs here and there, they're also good-intentioned. They believe they're doing God's work. You can't question that, isn't it? Yes or no? So good intentions alone won't produce good results. We need some sense on this planet. This is the biggest problem. We've always been trying to produce good people, and good people are unfortunately have become miserable people. We need more sensible and joyful people on the planet. Sense is what is missing. Yes or no? You don't like it? It's all right. I'm not standing for an election, so I'm not going to say popular things. I want you to understand your ideas of goodness is always you-centric. The ultimate good is you. This is not okay, that is not okay, that is not okay, that's not okay. Okay, but not very okay. Some American author said, Everybody in the world is queer, except you and me. But you also seem to be little queer. This is a fact, isn't it? Long distance, everybody is nice. Close up, everybody is a problem except you, isn't it? If everybody in the world is a problem except you, you know where the problem is. So once you assume the position of goodness, this is what happens. We don't need your goodness, we need some sense. We need some joyful people on the planet. Have you noticed, when you are joyful, if I come and meet you, I'm sure you are a wonderful person. I'm 100% sure you're a wonderful person. But if I meet you when you're angry, frustrated, miserable, you could be a nasty person, isn't it? Yes or no? 20% of our time, energies and resources spent in the prisons in South India and also in United States to some extent. And people ask me, Sadhguru, what you're spending so much time with these criminals? We hardly get to see you. Why are you spending time with these criminals? I don't see any criminals. I see everybody in the world is in pursuit of their happiness. The man that you call as criminal is pursuing his happiness far more vigorously than you. Yes, you call him a criminal, why? He also wants the same things that you want. It's just that he doesn't want to stand in the line, he wants to jump the line, that's all, isn't it? Yes or no? So, the moment you're in pursuit of your happiness, unknowingly you have started a crime. In the sense, see, you're pursuing your happiness this way, I am pursuing my happiness this way, both of us come and meet here head-on. Out of your culture, education, you will tell me, please, get off my path. I will not. Then gently you will push me. I will not go. Then you will shove me. I will not go. Then you will want me to disappear, isn't it? What method you're going to employ, I do not know, but you want me to disappear. Anything that stands in the way of your happiness, you want it to disappear, yes or no? For sure, isn't it? Please understand, our pursuit of happiness has caused enormous, untold suffering to every creature on the planet. Yes? Yes or no? We're making a bonfire of this planet. At least if you're ecstatic, burn the planet, it's okay. Not even joyful, not even peaceful, should we stop and look what to do? If something has not worked for so long, is it not time to stop and look what is the problem? The problem is just this, your whole experience of life is generated from within, but you're trying to fix it from outside. You're engineering the world. If you engineer it anymore, there won't be a world left. You need to engineer your interiority the way you want to be. Everything in the world is slowly becoming the way we want it, but are you the way you want yourself to be? This is what has not happened, isn't it? If this one thing happens, suppose right now you are joyful by your own nature, not because of anything, then you would do only what's needed in the world, nothing more, nothing less. There would be no excess in your life, isn't it? Yes or no? And when you are joyful, do I have to say, thou shalt not kill this person, thou shalt not rob this person, thou shalt not harm this person? Do you need teaching, I'm asking you? Do you need teaching? All the nonsense in the world is expression of human misery, isn't it? Yes or no? If you're feeling wonderful within you right now, I don't have to tell you, be nice to other people. It's not necessary. No teaching would be necessary. Instead of stirring up humanity, we trying to fix it with morality, and it's not worked and it's not worked. 100% it's not worked. People have just learned how to pretend. Yes? Even if turmoil is going on within them, they've learned to carry a smile on their face. This is going to kill them. This smile which doesn't come from joy is going to be a killer for you in so many ways. Smile is a consequence. It is not a purpose. It is not a thing that you do. If you're joyful, smile will happen. If a plant is well nourished, flowers will blossom. You want to pull flowers out of a plant, you'll end up with plastic flowers. And that's what is happening to the world right now. Leave the world alone, don't try to fix the world. This one person at least must be a joyful human being. You must fix this. How? Once you ask how, there is a method. As there is a science and technology to create external well-being, similarly there's a whole science and technology to create inner well-being. There are many ways to look at this. One simplest way to look at it is, suppose you lost your peace today, what happens? First dose, always your family gets it, right? You go home and yell at somebody. If it continues tomorrow, you may pick a quarrel with your neighbor. If it continues tomorrow, you will yell at somebody on the street. If it continues tomorrow, you will go to your office and yell at your boss, or some place where it will have serious consequence for you. The moment you yell at your boss, everybody knows you need medical help. When you yelled at your family, they thought it's normal. This is a huge problem. They think it's normal to be yelling at people who are dear to you. But when you yell at somebody where there's going to be a serious consequence for you, people know you need medical help. So, if you go to your doctor, initially he tries to talk you out of it. Usually it doesn't work, then he throws a pill into you. A pill means what? A certain amount of chemicals. You put these chemicals into you, you do become peaceful. Maybe not forever, at least for a short duration. If it did not work at all these millions of people wouldn't be popping it. It does work in a limited way. Or in other words, what you call as peace is a certain kind of chemistry. What you call as joy is another kind of chemistry. What you call as ecstasy is another kind of chemistry. What you call as agony is one kind of chemistry, fear is another. Now we're talking about a technology with which you can create the right kind of chemistry. Once you create a blissful chemistry within yourself, now you're blissful by your own nature. There is enough medical and scientific evidence in the world today to show you that only when you're in a state of pleasantness, your body and your mind works at its best. Your success in the world is just this, your ability to harness the faculties of your mind and your body to its fullest. This is your success, isn't it? If they have to work at their best, the first and foremost thing is to create pleasantness within this. Nothing has been done about it. People are looking up or looking out for their well-being. It is time you turn inward for your well-being. Not out, not up, but inward. Because there is no outward and there is no upward. You do not even know what is up or down. Is it true you're sitting on a round planet? Hello, at least those who are sitting on the slope, you know, you're sitting on a round planet. But the young people have no voice. Okay, that's good. You're sitting on a round planet, not on North Pole, at a certain latitude, and it's spinning. If you look up, you'll invariably look up in the wrong direction, isn't it? Yes or no? In this cosmos, do you know which is up and which is down? Is it somewhere marked this side up? No. You do not know what is not up and what is down. You're incapable of knowing what is up and what is down. You do not know what is forward and backward. Only contextually, for practical purposes, we'll say this is forward, this is backward. But you really do not know, isn't it? But there's one context in your life, inward and outward. This is the only context. You must exercise this now. There is inward and outward. Inward must happen just the way you want it. Outward will happen to some extent. If you try to make the outward just the way you want it, you will become a tyrant. Outward need not happen just the way you want it. If inward is happening just the way you want it, you're blissed out, you're okay with the outside. Because inward is not happening the way you want it, you want at least to fix the outside. And it's never going to be fixed. If you over-try it, you will get into the corner of life. Nothing will work in your life. You know, I was to speak in Tel Aviv. So, I was traveling from Atlanta. I'm to land in the morning and speak at 6:30 in the evening. But I landed there at 6 o'clock in the evening because of some flight delays. In these 33 years of me being engaged with the public, I have not been late to a single appointment in my life. So I don't want to break that today. No, that's not a great thing. Being on time is not a great thing, that's what you're supposed to do. So I just changed in the airport and went straight to the venue. I'm famished because, I'm traveling an American airline, you can't eat anything on the damn plane. There's nothing edible. And I'm really hungry. And when they take me to the venue, I find out that the venue is a nice restaurant. I'm speaking in a restaurant, it can't get any better life, isn't it? So I said, this is nice. And restaurants are famous for different things. Some restaurants are famous for the quality of the food that they serve, some restaurants are famous for the ambience that they create, some restaurants are famous for the conversations that happen in that restaurant. This restaurant in Tel Aviv is supposed to be a place where the most intelligent conversations in Tel Aviv happen in this restaurant, not in the parliament. So, people were walking in and they were greeting me, and one man came and said, "Shalom." I said, "What does it mean?" He said, "This is the highest way of greeting." I said, "That's okay, that's your opinion. But what does it mean?" He said, No, this is really the highest way of greeting." I said, "That's okay, but what does the word mean?" He said, "It means peace." I said, "Why would peace be the highest way of greeting unless you're born in Middle East? In South India, if somebody comes up to me in the morning and says, 'peace,' I'll say, 'What's wrong with you?' Whatever you're deprived of becomes the highest thing in your life. 5 days if you have not eaten, God appears. What? What? What will you ask for? Food, of course, isn't it? Whatever you're deprived of raises to heavenly conditions, because we have deprived ourselves of that. Food, water, things around you have to come from outside, we have to procure that. There is a certain amount of challenge in that. But your peacefulness, your joyfulness, your love, your blissfulness, your ecstatic nature, all pleasant or unpleasant experiences, 100% are generated within you. At least here you must be generous with yourself, isn't it? Yes? Maybe you don't have enough money, but there's no dearth for peace and joy. You're messing it up because you have a phenomenal machine on your hand, something that can do tremendous things, but you have not even cared to look at the user's manual. You want to somehow… somebody has given you a computer, you think it's a hammer, it may work. If you take your laptop and bang something, it may work, all right, but that's not the best way to use it, it's capable of something else. You must understand, technologies have evolved like this. There was a time that if you dig into any ancient civilizations, what is the greatest thing that you find? One of the greatest things that you find is earthen pots, different designs, different shapes. This is a great thing we did. We dug out mud and made all these fantastic pots. But today we're digging out the same earth, making computer out of it, making spacecraft out of it, making all kinds of unimaginable things out of it. Isn't it so? Same material or no? Same material or no? Similarly with you. It's the same material with which an earthworm is made, a grasshopper is made, a bird is made, a tree is made, a monkey is made, and a human being is made. And it's the same material that all of us are made of. But what have you turned it into? Have you made it into a fantastic possibility, or have you made it into a horrible problem in your life? This is in your hands. You have the material, same material. I am made of the same material as you are. Whoever you look up to, your Rama, Krishna, made of the same material or no? Yes or no? Same material, what you made of yourself and what somebody else made of himself is just a question how much attention you paid to it and what have you done with it. If you are willing, what is the problem? Once you're really willing, methods are simple, all right? Methods are very simple because there's only one ingredient to fix, just you and you, nobody else but you. If you can't do this, rest of it is so accidental in your life, everything that you do is bound to be a miserable process because once in a way, when profits are declared in your company, you're happy on that day, but the 3 months that you went through is hell. No, that is not the way life needs to be structured. It is just that every moment of your life needs to be joyful. You don't have to practice this grave-looking face. You anyway will get there. Don't have any doubt about it, I'm assuring you. I'll bless you with a long life. But whether you like it or you don't like it, you may think I'm going here, I'm going there, I'm going somewhere else. But as far as your body is concerned, it is diving straight into the grave. Yes or no? These are two fundamental factors of your life, time and energy. You live near Mahakaleshwar, okay? What this means is, this word kala is very, very important. It means time and it means darkness. I will not go into the physics of this. This is the highest level of fundamental physics. I will not go into that, it'll get… I have my time limits. Have I already crossed it? No? It's okay? Anyway, time and energy. These are the two components with which you're made of, isn't it? This is your life, isn't it so? A certain amount of time and a certain amount of energy. Don't try to do circus with time, because time is passing away for all of us at the same pace. Yes, it's ticking for all of us at the same pace, isn't it? It is just that our experience of time may be different. On a certain day, you're very joyful. That 24 hours went off like a moment. Another day, you're depressed. 24 hours feel like a eon, isn't it? Yes or no? So time is a relative experience in individuals, but it is flowing at the same pace for all of us. So I know you might have been taught in your MBAs that you must manage… time management. Don't try to manage time, it's going at the same pace. Do whatever you want, it's going at the same pace. It's your energy that you need to manage and manifest in different dimensions. What is an earthen pot and what is a computer or a spacecraft? Same material. It's just the question of how it is energized and what happens out of it, isn't it? Similarly, what is one human being and another human being is how he is managing his energies. If time runs out before your energy runs out, we say it's an untimely death. If energy runs out before time runs out, you call it a vegetative life. The skill of life is that you play these two things together and well. Time and energy should run together. Now, energy is a component of your life, you can enhance it limitlessly, or you can make it very small. You can make it the same energy. Right now, the same thing that we call as mud, which we walk upon, is sitting here as a human being, isn't it so? Is it the same material or not? Same material, isn't it? So, it is a certain energy. Because of the efficiency or the competence of a certain type of energy, that mud, which could have been a pot or an earthworm or an insect, today sitting here as a human being. So, if you transform this energy to a certain level, people will look to you and think you're superhuman. Now, we are not talking about you becoming superhuman, it is just that you have to realize being human is super. Being human is really super. The reason why all the time people are talking about another world and another place and another kind of super whatever out there is simply because they've never paid attention to this. They never realized the immensity of being human. The immensity of being human has not been explored. You must understand this in this culture. I want you to get this in this culture. There has never been an idea of the God. Nobody has told you there is a God. They have only told you there are 33 million gods and goddesses. This god, goddess is an English word, we call them devas and devatas or devis. What a deva means is, if a human being excels beyond a certain limit which is considered normal, then immediately we say he's a deva. See, today many people, I see even in the media, people are referring to Sachin Tendulkar as a cricketing god. It may be absurd in modern Western context, but in India it's very normal. If somebody excels beyond a certain point, we say, okay, he's a deva. He's risen himself beyond normal levels of competence. So he can be a music deva, it can be a cricket deva, it can be a business deva, it can be anybody. Kubera is a deva. He's just a businessman. So you can become a deva if you excel. They never told you there is a God up there and managing your life. You were always and always told, your life is your karma. Yes or no? You've forgotten this. But now you're saying, ayo karma. There is no ayo karma. Karma means action. Whose action? My action. Or in other words, what is being told to you always is, your life is your making, 100%. The very womb that you've been chosen, that you're chosen to be born in, is your choice, but an unconscious choice. Whatever you choose unconsciously, you can also choose consciously. The very process of life, birth and death, a human being is capable of taking into his hands if he pays enough attention to the process of life. When I say enough attention, right now, you have only one way to pay attention. Your five sense organs, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, this is the only way you're perceiving the world. All these things are essentially outward bound. You cannot roll your eyeballs inward and scan yourself. You cannot… See, if I say this, if I do this, you can hear, but so much activity in this body you cannot hear. If an ant crawls upon this hand, you can feel it. So much blood flowing, you cannot feel it. In the very nature of things, sense organs are outward bound. They are good instruments for survival, but they are not good enough to perceive the nature of life. Without perceiving the nature of life, if you try to handle it, you have distorted images of yourself in the sense… See, in this cosmos, this planet, this solar system is a tiny speck. Today they're talking about some 100 billion galaxies. In that, the solar system is a tiny speck. Tomorrow morning, if the solar system vanishes, probably nobody will notice it anywhere else. In this tiny speck, planet Earth is a micro tiny speck. In that planet Earth, in that micro speck, Indore city is a super micro speck. In that, you are a big man. It's a very huge problem. It's a very big problem. Once you lose perspective of what is the nature of your life, what is the context of your life, then you will do absurd things. It's like this. Right now this vessel here, because this is my vessel, I don't know whose vessel, I'll claim it for now. I think my vessel is 3 feet wide. Now if I want to lift this vessel, I'll go like this. It's a great way to handle this vessel, isn't it? Because my vessel, it's my vessel, it is 3 feet wide. All I will do is make a fool of myself. That's all that's happening. If you have exaggerated sense of who you are, you will never know what you are, what is the nature of who you are. See, the very nature of things, who you are is right now unfortunately identified with a few things that you've gathered, your body and the content of your mind and things around you. Because you're identified with that, this desperation to be bigger than who you are, if you look little closer, this is a tremendous possibility. There is no need to decorate this, there is no need to enhance this. This is fantastic the way it is. There is no words to describe This is a limitless possibility. Instead of looking at that, we are trying to expand the limitations that we have. It's not going to work. Now, if I make you the king or queen of this world, will you be fulfilled, I'm asking you? Don't look at me hopefully, I will not commit such a blunder. Will you be fulfilled? No. What about the other planets? Okay, we'll make you the king of solar system. Okay? Fulfilled? No. The other galaxies? Because this is the nature of the human being. Wherever you are, you want to be something more. If that something more happens, you want to be something more. So why don't we look at it? How much more do you want? How much more do you want, I'm asking you? You want limitless expansion if you look at this. So what you want is not more, you want all. If you want all, it's not going to happen by grabbing, by conquest, by ambition. It will only happen if you transcend the limitations of your physicality. Because the nature of physicality is a defined boundary. Only because there's a defined boundary, we can call this a body, physical body, isn't it? If I take off the boundaries of this body, can this be physical? Physical existence is a world of boundaries, but there is something within you which wants to become boundless. So if you transcend the limitations of your physical nature, if something beyond physicality becomes a living reality for you, then we use the most corrupted word upon you, we say you are spiritual.
If you are suffering, all you will see, all you will seek is the sweetness of pleasure and happiness, nothing more. Because people went on talking about or lived their life and made their lives an absolute suffering, that is why this whole idea of heaven.
When you're unable to hear what somebody else is saying, your relationships will go bad. In many ways, the fundamentals of your relationship is you're willing to listen to the other person, isn't it?
Somehow you became happy. You became happy because you ate something, you became happy because you met somebody, you became happy because something happened, this happened, that happened. Somehow, it is not that you do not know joy, it is not that you do not know peace, it is not that you do not know love or even ecstasy. The problem is of sustainability, you're not able to stay there, yes? You're not able to stay there because you're getting there by accident, somehow. Shall we do a simple experiment with you? Shall we? What you do is, keep all the 5 fingers together. Keep it facing down, gently placed upon your thigh. Don't press it, gently placed. Don't close your eyes right now, I will tell you what to do. We will do this eyes closed, but right now you must observe. With eyes closed, placing it like this, just inhale and exhale slightly deeper than normal, mildly exaggerated breath. As you're doing this, I want you to observe how the air is filling up into your lungs, or in other words, where is the maximum expansion and contraction. There will be some change. You hold it like this, and as you're doing this breath, without breaking the rhythm of your breathing, when I say switch, just turn it over. Again, when I say switch, get back. In these 2 positions, something about your breath will change. I want you to notice what is the change. If you have to notice this, what is needed is, one thing is, your spine should be erect, eyes should be closed, you must be focused on the breath, and your breakfast should not be up to your throat. Please close your eyes, breathe slightly deeper than normal. See where is the maximum expansion and contraction in your